Hey folks, I hope you're all doing well today. I hope this video finds you well. It's Sunday morning and I wanted to talk about a little thing called the PlayStation 2 launch. I remember the PlayStation 2 launch very well. At the time, I was very big into PlayStation, having gotten a PlayStation 1 in the Christmas of 1996, and I got a few games with it that year. And basically the PlayStation shaped my young adult years of gaming, and plus it was 3D, which was another awesome thing. And it had a huge impact on just the gaming industry, and I think that it was a big deal because it was such a huge step forward from the PlayStation. I remember the launch really well. I think I did have a job at the time, a small time job where I had a little bit of money saved up over the years from doing odd jobs, and I did plan to get one. I think when they released, they were retailed at $299.99. I remember, I think it was 3 or 4 days before the launch of the PlayStation 2, which was October 26, 2000. There was a friend of mine in high school, and he was in my first class I had, and he was big into anime and stuff like that, and I can't remember his name now, but he had planned to get the PlayStation 2 at launch. He was going to wait in line at one of the stores and get it at midnight, pick it up at midnight. And so I was eager to hear his story the next day. Well, the launch day came, and there was actually a school day, I think, right after 26th. I might be wrong about that too, but I said, hey, did you get the PlayStation 2? You know, what games did you get? Because I saw some of the launch titles. It was a Street Fighter EX, and there was SSX, and EA had a game called X Squad, and Fantavision, and there weren't real great titles actually at launch, but he told me he got a game called Orphan, and I was like, huh, I haven't heard of Orphan before. So I looked it up. I actually was subscribed to a magazine, which I don't know if it's still around anymore. It's probably not, called PSM, PlayStation Magazine, 100% independent PlayStation Magazine. They weren't official. They weren't a part of Ziff Davis or any of that. But it was a really cool magazine. They always had cool extras in there, like memory card stickers and the like. So anyway, I read about their review of Orphan because this guy told me about it. And I was like, it was a really crappy review. I think it was 5 out of 10. And it was just a really low-rate game. It had a few anime cutscenes, and of course, at the time the graphics were nice, but all the games for PS2 looked awesome. So I wasn't really impressed with the graphics of the game. And I read about the review, and then I actually looked up some more reviews for PS2 titles, and they weren't really that high. I think when the PlayStation 2 came out, they kind of focused more on quality graphics over quality gameplay, and so they just kind of threw good gameplay out the window, which, I mean, it kind of hurt the launch of the PS2, but the PS2 still sold tons of units when it was first released, and they didn't have Sony didn't have enough units they had manufactured to be sold, so they were at a loss for, I think, a while when Christmas came a few months later, and that really hurt the sales of the PlayStation 2. It didn't sell very well, I think, the rest of that 2000, because there was a high demand, especially in Christmas time, and you all remember the story, So then Sony finally did get some more consoles in, shipped them out to the stores, and more people were happy, but it did take some time. Now, when I first got my PlayStation 2, I was scouring the city for it. I remember my mom was driving me all over the place, and it was a fun time. We went to the mall. We saw all the stores were sold out, and this was only a few days, I think maybe a week or 2 weeks after the release. And I had heard the stories about, the PS2 not being available, and it was kind of hard to believe because Sony was a big a big deal. They made high quality electronics, and they really had a lot of hype and stuff behind this PlayStation 2. But I guess it's just such a high demand. Anyway, because of the high demand, a lot of the retail stores were jacking up the price. And it wasn't a huge jack up. Like they were jacking it up, another $50 or something. But I heard rumors, where I think eBay was around back then, and people were buying them and of course selling them on eBay for hundreds of dollars, $500, $600. And I think it was retailed at $299. Well, we went to a store called KB Stores, Toy Stores, which I don't think is around anymore. And they had a big sign on the front of their store that said, "We have PS2s," and they said the price was $349.99. So they had put another $50 on the price of the PS2. Now I thought this was actually smart of them. I actually didn't think, "Oh man, are you kidding me? This is ridiculous." Because back then, I mean, $50, that's a lot of money. But the PS2, I mean, everyone wanted it, and I was one of them. I was such a big PlayStation fan. When that was out, I never played the N64. All I had was PS1. That's all I played. The games on it were amazing. I loved the RPGs on it. Oh, I couldn't get enough of it. So anyway, you get the idea. I'm a big PlayStation fan. So, I actually had 300 and I think 70 or $375 I had saved up. That was all I had. And so I added up the tax in my head, and it just made it barely, with just like a few dollars left in my pocket. And so, my mom and my parents had wandered off, and my brother had wandered off. I thought, you know what? I saw the sign, and I just went in there. I said, "Do you have the PS2?" She said, "Yeah." She gave it to me. I held it in my hands. I was like, okay, I'm going to buy it. So I paid $350, and altogether it was like $374 with the tax. And I didn't really care because I had the PlayStation 2. Okay, I had the PS2 before a lot of people even had one. So it made me feel good just to say that. But then I got it home and I opened it and everything, and I had one of those older television sets where you have to screw the coaxial cable in the back deal, and that was all it had. So, but I think they came with the RF. They had RF adapter thing with it, but actually I think it didn't come with the box. I had to buy an RF switch and stuff. But I got it working on my old TV. But the thing was, I didn't have any PlayStation 2 games because I couldn't afford any, and my parents never bought me games, so I had no games for it. So the first thing I did was scrounge up some money to go rent one at the Blockbuster, because that was when Blockbuster was around, and that's why I always rented my PlayStation 1 games. And I got this game called SSX, and as you know, it was one of the highest reviewed games for the PlayStation 2 launch, and it's just amazing, awesome, fun game. As time went on, months later, I had some money. I purchased SSX, played it non-stop. So basically, SSX I had for 3, 4, or 5 months. I never purchased any more PlayStation 2 games, except for that for a while. I'm trying to think the next PS2 game I purchased. I think it was Red Faction. Yeah, Red Faction, because that was a big deal, good reviews. And for its first-person shooter, I really wanted to see the cool graphics on the PS2. And that game didn't let me down either. It was good. Red Faction was classic. Still one of my favorite PS2 games. I have it today, and I pop it in to play it sometime. But yeah, that's the PS2 launch story for me. I wanted to share with you guys. It's really exciting time for me. Even though I didn't have games, I had some money, I could go rent them, and that was always exciting. And another thing, as you know, it had a DVD player, which was kind of new at the time, and that was awesome because I got into I really loved movies, and I would always our library rented. We could rent free DVDs for free, so I was always getting some DVDs there. Now, it did a funny thing with the picture, though. It would, like, this picture would screw up on my older TV with the DVDs for some reason because the hookups I had, but it was great. It was really fun. I remember the first DVD I ever played on my PS2 was Gattaca. It's a really good movie, sci-fi movie. Later on, we rented the Disney movie Dinosaur, and this is when DVDs were new, so it was a cool thing. So I really liked the PlayStation 2. I was amazed at the graphics of the few games I played, and it's an exciting time, and I still play it today. It's one of the most successful video game consoles of all time. It has a huge game library of games available for it, and I think they finally stopped making games for it, but it's lasted such a long time. It's an amazing console. Suggest you guys get one because they're just awesome. It's awesome, and it's got pretty much any game that you're looking for. So I wanted to share this story with you guys and hope you're doing well.